What's up, y'all? It has been a minute. How are you doing? I am so glad to be here. I am Nina Perez. This is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added, live here on Winject. And it's been a minute. It's been a minute. And I, yeah, I've been going through a lot, right? I think all of us have been going through a lot. And I find myself crying a lot over these horrific images and things that I've been seeing, on all social media and all of that, everything happening with the barbaric, evil, and demonic things happening all over the world, and especially in the Middle East right now. And as a human being, I can't help but to just have compassion and pain and love and all of those things for those who have been harmed. It's just been weighing really heavy on my heart. So I've been praying a lot for them, for peace, for sanity, for joy, for all of that, because it has been something that has been truly, truly heavy on my heart and on my family's heart. Hey, babes. And it is really, something that I have been, it's been showing me to press into God, to press into prayer, to understand that God knows what He's doing, even though I don't know. He's a just God, and I have to trust that. And whether you believe in God or not, that's irrelevant to me. I believe in God, and I do believe that He knows what's best. And I've been thinking about this as also as an entrepreneur, as a woman, as a mother, in so many ways, right? And I'm sure all of us are going through that, and at some level, whatever you think is just or not just, right? For me, I don't find anybody hurting innocent children, women, things like that is just. That's me. I feel that way, and I strongly feel that way, right? But I find myself asking, very strong questions when I see all of this hard, ugly stuff happening around the world. And I ask myself, what's the point? Why am I building this amazing platform? Why do I, affect women? Why do I work with women? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Who cares? Who cares? I find myself getting into that space, right? And I realize that these are just, inner turmoils, inner demons, whatever you want to call them. And this is something that we have to acknowledge, is that everyone goes through these internal struggles, right? This thing that happens to us on the inside, where we have to really realize that there is a reality of shame and doubt and fear and anger and injustice and all of these things that happen within us, right? And as things get tough, we have to keep our focus even in the hard times. And that's hard to do, because sometimes the hard times just seem like shit, if I'm going to be honest, right? And so we have to deal with that reality that we have this inner turmoil that happens from within us. And especially if you're someone who is trying to build something or trying to create a business or whatever it is, we have these internal struggles that happen. And when you're looking at social media and the world and all of this stuff happening in the world, you can't help but to doubt whatever you're doing is even important or relevant, right? And like, who cares anyway? What's the point? All that kind of stuff. But the truth is that tomorrow comes anyway, right? Like, I realize, even though I've been crying a lot and angry and frustrated and screaming at the TV and social media and all that kind of stuff, there is something that has to happen in you where you just surrender. Like, there's a power of surrender. The only thing that works for me is surrendering, and my surrender has to come to surrender to my higher power, to God, right? And that means to find some sort of peace and direction on where it is that you're going, where it is that you are going to, land. Where are you facing? What are you doing, right? And it's hard. It's a really hard thing to contend with. And I haven't been on a live in some time, and it's all this internal, like, struggle and turmoil that I'm going through. And the truth is, we have to, well, for me, and I hope, for you, at a high level, you think of something outside of you, right? And think of God, and how you surrender your will to Him, and your anger and your frustration and your self-doubt and your shame and your fear and your struggles and all of that you're going through, because it is something that will take you down if you don't have an anchor, right? Something to hold on to. I'm very fortunate that I believe in God, because for a period of my life, I didn't know if there was one. I was very agnostic. And but I do believe in God very strongly, and I have a very good family too. My family loves me, I love them. We're there for each other, we call each other, me and my children and my husband and all of us have really created a community to love on each other, even when we don't like each other very much sometimes, right? Where we're all like, because you're family, you go through those type of things, but we love each other. And your mindset is going to matter in all of these hard times that you're going through right now, and especially as somebody who is trying to create something bigger than yourself, right? So trying to impact the world in some way, right? And we consume a lot of crap. We consume a lot of crap. And this influences our mindset. It influences our business, our relationships, our finances. It influences everything, right? And so your mind flow, as I call it, it matters, because what you're consuming, what you're putting in you, what you are putting in your eye gates and ear gates, as I call them, right? The gates that are supposed to be protecting your mind. When you are not protecting yourself in that way, you're really hurting yourself. And then, therefore, that ripples into all of the other aspects of your life and all of the other things that it's going to influence in your life. And it will start to impact your relationships, your business, your financial prosperity, the way you think about what prosperity is, or abundance, or the way you think about life. And, all of this stuff that you're consuming it could be hurting you. And I want you to take a look at that, because if your mindset is in that place where everything is negative and you're fearful and you're doubting and you're hurting and you're all of that, we do have to face reality, because there is an acknowledgement of reality that has to happen. And there's also an acknowledgement of reality that life is still happening. Because even though I've been crying a lot, and you could ask my husband, I've been going through a lot of emotions, right? And going through all of those emotions have been tough. And going through all of those emotions really has taught me that there is an acknowledgement of reality, that there is ugliness happening in the world all the time, everywhere. Some of it we see more than we should, right? Some of it we consume more than we should. But it's crucial to validate that you are feeling a certain way, that there are things happening in the world that are affecting your emotional state, right? Before you can actually start to move on to whatever it is you need to do, whatever the solution is, right? So I need to apologize if I sound a little emotional, but I am. And you need to acknowledge the reality that there is ugliness happening in the world all the time. And some of the things we've seen, I think, have been so jarring these last couple of weeks, and have really, like, have taken my breath away. And so I've had to face those things. I don't want to forget those things, because it's important for us to also know that there is ugliness in this world. And how do we move forward towards a solution to impact the world in a better place, even if it's just us, right? My pastor was talking about, even if it's just, if you're just one person doing something small, how do you take that small thing that you're doing and still do it anyway, and do it with, with compassion and love, right? And stepping up to whatever it is you're supposed to do. And for me right now, what I'm focusing on is the women that I work with in my group, and showing them their beauty and their impact in the world, and how they are going to touch the lives of others. And it is crucial for them to validate how they feel and what they're going through, but also to impact the world of someone else, which is what all these women want to do. Is they want to build coaching business in their own spaces and niches to impact the world. And it is about shifting our perspective. There's a power in our perspective, right? Because our perspective shapes our reality. And we need to base our perspective on truth. What is truth? Sometimes truth is very hard to find. And so, especially in the world that we're living in, because there's too many people throwing their own opinion into the arena, and it's hard to understand what is an opinion and what is truth. That's why I try to stand the best I can and only on the word. This is everything, right? Because for me, truth, it is a perspective, but it does shape our reality. And what what we view as challenges could be growth. What we view as something that's coming against us, maybe for us instead. And it's hard to say those things when you are looking at such ugliness in the world and you say, okay, well, what is the point of that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that I trust God. I do know that my reality is I've seen God in my life in very strong and powerful ways. And so I don't know what all of this ugliness means. And I mean, do we need to wake up maybe? Have we been sleeping? Right? Because there's something that needs to happen in our lives. Sometimes these things happen, and it's an importance of resilience in our life. And resilience just isn't about, bouncing back. Maybe it's about moving forward stronger than before. I don't know. Right? Resilience is something we build throughout our lives. And I think often about my husband and I and our family, our children, right? Losing everything in 2008 and becoming homeless and sleeping in our car and sleeping in our friends' living rooms and trying to find a couch to sleep on. And we were pretty much without our own home for about a year and a half, and it was freaking hard. And we did it though. I sometimes I wonder how, but I wonder about the resilience and bouncing back for those who feel like they're lost right now. And it's an important thing for us to shift from this place of hurt and victimization and all of that into our lives and what is important in our lives, and how do we move forward, right? Because it's not just about like, oh, I'm a comeback. But it's about how do we move forward stronger than ever, and then hold strong to whatever that vision is that we have had in front of us, keeping our eyes on whatever it is we're supposed to be doing, on the prize ahead, on the light ahead, on whatever it is we're supposed to be grappling with, right? Because it's very important for us to remind ourselves that we start something for a reason, that we're doing something for a reason, that we started our business for a reason, that we're starting to impact people for a reason, that we are unalive like I am right now for a reason. And I have to have that vision to start guiding me, right? Guiding me towards my purpose, my plan, the light in front of me. What is that? Sometimes we don't know. We grapple, we try to figure that out. I know for me, like I said, right now, my eye is on the prize of helping as many women as I can build their businesses, build their coaching and consulting businesses, because they also have a life and they also want to impact the lives of others. And that's in many spaces, whether it's nonprofit or for profit. And I have to keep my eye on the prize if that's what it is that God is calling me to do. So take a small step, because even if you start small, there is power in taking a small step so that you can impact yourself and your family and your friends and your community and everything in a bigger way. All right. There's power in taking even a small step if you're consistent. So be consistent with the steps that you're taking, okay? Because every small step leads to something significant in your life, something big in your life. I don't know what that means for you. I know for me, I have been really thinking about how to shift my life, my business, my vision into something that creates impact in the community and the support of others, right? Because community and supporting each other is so important. It's important to have community and a support system next to you. It's important to reach out to others. It's important to care about other people. I hate the fact that we're fighting each other all the time, that we hate each other so much. Look at what's happening around the world right now. The hate amongst each other when we could be so much stronger together. Right? I mean, I'm ignorant to a lot of those things that happen around the world. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. I don't. Right? I only know what I research, what I go down the rabbit hole in, what I try to help people with. Right? I've been a victim of rape, and a victim of being almost murdered, and a victim of being homeless, and a victim of all of those things in my life. But I know that together we're stronger. I know that I needed community. Hey, Nina, thank you. I know that we need community in our life and a way to support each other and navigate life together. I have a neighbor right now who is elderly, and she is taking care of her elderly husband. They have no family here, and they've been on our hearts, right? So they've been heavy on our hearts. And my husband, as amazing as he is, decided to go next door and find out what's going on. I haven't seen them, right? Because I kept saying to my husband, I don't see them around. What's going on? And my husband went next door to find out that the husband, who is very ill, and the wife is the only caregiver, the wife has cancer that has riddled her entire body. And she has no one, right? So now we've become family. We have to, because it's community and it's supporting each other. And I hate the fact that there's so much hate and vile language and violence against each other. It is heart-wrenching. And we have to make sure that we start to really think about how we're going to make an impact in the world where we can support one another and support others. And I don't know what that means for you, right? Maybe you're trying to build a business. Maybe you want to have a coaching business. Maybe you want to have a consulting business where you reach other people in the world. And this is why I built my academy and I built what I built, because I'm like, you know what? We have to have some inner healing, because man, do we have some junk inside of us. And we have to transcend that in love, in truth, and finding our core values and helping to build a stronger place, whatever that means for us, right? And having compassion for ourselves, because none of us, sometimes we go around, hating on each other and hating ourselves. And we have to remind ourselves that we have to have some compassion for others and for ourselves, right? Because self-compassion is a powerful tool, because if you're compassionate with yourself, maybe you can learn to be compassionate with others, and especially in such challenging and ugly times, right? So I want to remind you that not everything is doom and gloom. Yes, there's a lot of ugly in the world. Yes, there's a lot of hurt going on. And because everything is being in our faces all the time, it's causing us to have discontentment. It's also causing pain inside of us. It's causing us to be disheartened, right? And so I want you to also think of what you're putting out there, what you're doing, and have those moments of success in your life as well. And have those wins that you can celebrate in your life. What's that, Nina? That's exactly how I've been most of my life, right? Caring, loving, empathetic to all. Right. I'm broken, though. No one knows what's going on inside. That's so true. And I'm sorry that you feel broken, though, because we're all broken, Nina, but we're also all in this together, right? We're all in a community of wanting and loving on one another. And if it's something, honestly, and this is for real, if there's something that you want to talk about, make sure that you get in contact with me. Either DM me or email me at info@ninaperez.com. Okay? Because I think it's so important that we're just there for each other. It's not always about me being the best. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm the best. It's also about community. It's also about having compassion. It's also about self-compassion as well, and celebrating wins and being there for each other and showing up as a gift of authenticity. Be real, be authentic, right? It's so freaking liberating to be authentic. It's empowering. Be you. If you have a voice that you can use against whatever injustice or whatever things that you want to do in life, then do it. Stop freaking worrying about what everybody thinks and says. Who cares? It's about leaving something behind that matters. It's a legacy, right? What do you want to leave behind? Right? What is it that you want to do to impact the world? Even if it's your small corner of the world, what is it? Every action that you take contributes to your legacy. Okay? And so I think about that when my kids if I pass away and my kids show my grandkids and my great grandkids, they'll always have videos of me talking smack, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but that's how it is, right? I will talk to you soon, my friend. And I love you too. Thank you. I love you too. I really do. Thank you. And so we have to realize that a lot of the stuff that we're doing in the world is about impact. And so how do you want to impact the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind? What is it that you want to be known for? So be careful if you're out here doing some nasty grimy shit against other people, because that's also going to be there. All right? Be a person that really wants to show up for others in an empathetic way, in a way to empower people. All right? Not a way to shut people down and break people down. That's bullshit. You can do that. That's easy. It's behind a keyboard. I call it keyboard confidence, right? But show up for people. Be there. Be a part of the community. Show up for someone. Keep your focus on what it is that you are called to do. Keep your focus even in the hard times. That's what this message is really about. Okay? Keep your focus in the hard times because, man, we're going through some right now, right? And we're always going to go through some. There's always going to be a challenge and something that comes against us some way or another. So I pray for the people in the Middle East. I pray for peace. I pray for compassion. I pray that God just comes down and shows them love and compassion, and that they end up loving and showing compassion to one another. I'm going to show love and compassion to my neighbor because that's where I can be effective right now. I'm going to show love and compassion to my group of women that are in my coaching program, and show them the love and compassion they need as they're building out what they want to build out. And I want to show love and compassion to all of you who have always been commenting and listening and leaving me DMs and emails and stuff, because you're part of the Straight Talk No Sugar Addict community, and you're a bunch of straight talkers, and you're on Winject or wherever you are. I love you. And I want to build a strong community of people that are there for each other. We should not be struggling alone. No, we should not. We should be supporting each other as much as we can, however we can. And so that's what I wanted to come on here and say today. Keep your focus, even in the hard times. Keep community. Keep loving on one another. Stop all this damn hate, and let's really be compassionate. And doesn't mean be a walking mat where people walk all over you, because I'm not that. But I am somebody who cares about others. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being straight talkers. And I'll see you on the next one. This is Nina Perez, Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Bye.